are kicking things off with a look at today's papers with Gyles, Brandreth, Alison Phillips. It's so good to see you both.
Well, it's so great to see someone has turned up today with the sartorial A game.
I am wearing my Armani suit.
Lovely.
George Armani died yesterday, aged 91,
91,
and I was lucky enough in the 1980s both to meet him and to acquire one of his suits.
You're lucky enough to still fit into it. You're looking good, my friend.
There we are. But people loved the line of him.
Yeah.
Richard Gere, famous film, he appears in one of his suits in the 1980s, and they were good.
I do like a pinstripe. I don't know what it is about pinstripe, but it really changes a suit, doesn't it? I love it.
What do we think of the double-breasted?
No, well,
very nice.
And it's quite long as well, isn't it?
It covers a multitude of things.
So you're exactly the same size.
Well,
incredible.
There's a lot of holding in here, but...
No, it's working.
You look lovely.
Never mind the American gigolo. Give me the old South West London gigolo any time. Eh? Looking good, my friend.
Classy move, classy move.
We are going to kick off with an extraordinary story that I saw yesterday, late last night. Big political... Nadine Dorries, the former Conservative Secretary of State for Culture, has defected to Reform. Before we come to you guys, let's see what she had to say about the decision.
I mean, the Tories are dead, they're gone. It's a slow and painful death. I'm looking at what they're doing, I'm listening to what they're saying, and I can't believe that people are listening. I'm sure people have switched off because it's just words.
Alison, let's get your take on it first.
Well, so the big thing about Nadine Dorries is she was Boris Johnson's flag waver, sort of number one woman in chief. And so the idea that she is now going to Reform essentially means Boris Johnson's never coming back. She thinks there's no hope for the Conservative Party. But what's also interesting, I think, is that in a way, this is kind of like the Toryfication of Reform. More and more Conservatives are going across, and that essentially, I think what you're looking at now is Nigel Farage. He's just an old school Tory. He's kind of Mrs Thatcher without the handbag, and that's how they're trying to pitch themselves. But what they do have is beyond Reform. But with Reform, what do they have beyond immigration as a policy to talk about?
No one knows.
That's the thing. And so what they're doing is they're using it as a lever to tear this country apart in the hope that by creating that division, that will translate into votes. And I think it's really unfortunate because some of the things that... She's done this big interview, and in it, some of the things that she's saying, you know, about, oh, they're all coming over here and they're living this life and everything's great. And we know that in the reality, yes, people in this country, they want control of the borders, they want control and they want compassion, because that's what this country has always been known for. And this idea that, you know, when people come to this country, they are living in, you know, basic accommodation, regardless of this idea that it's five-star hotels. It's not. That is the reality. They don't get huge sums of money. They need to be dealt with. They need to be dealt with swiftly. And I kind of think a lot of the things you're seeing coming out of the Home Office now is addressing that. But it's not at the speed that some people wish.
Well, this is interesting, because the decision... I mean, she wrote, my core beliefs are today the same as they were when I joined the Tory party back in '95. I would say to this, as we teeter on the precipice of the economic and terminal social decline, you don't have the luxury of time to stand stupefied wondering what went wrong and think about how to put it right sometime in the future. She has been in power for the last 14 years.
Yeah, exactly. Not only do they empower the Conservatives in power for the last 14 years, also, look around. Do you really think, when you're coming to work, do you think that we're in the precipice of some kind of absolute disaster? We had Nigel Farage in Washington this week saying that it's like North Korea. It's not. That's disgrace. There are people dying on the streets in North Korea.
Gyles, can we talk about what this means for the Tory party?
Not a great deal. I really don't think it does mean a great deal, because it's Nadine Dorries. I've been here slightly before. I remember in 1997 being told the Conservative Party is dead. It is over.
Yeah.
And indeed, we had defections from the Conservative Party to the Labour Party. To put Nadine Dorries in context, if you think of The Muppets, one of my favourite TV series, this is rather like the defection of the Swedish chef. We are not losing Kermit, Miss Piggy, Fozzie, even the two old boys sitting up in the box. This is an amusing minor character, Secretary of State for Culture, and indeed, as you say, Boris Johnson's flag-waving girl. So it's not a big issue.
I know you're making light of it, but do you think Tory Party HQ will be bothered by the optic of this?
For 48 hours. Yeah. They've got a serious issue. There's no doubt of that at all. The Conservative Party is in trouble.
Yeah.
But it's several years, I think, till an election. The issues are real. You're absolutely right. Immigration is an issue. Presenting it, you know, sanely is a challenge. Farage has jumped onto that bandwagon, but people don't know much else yet about him.
But Alison's point was super interesting there, because if you just from a political point of view, if you think that, OK, there's a Toryfication of reform, right? And yet Labour are really worried that they're losing ground to reform as well. So,
although most reforms vote is actually coming from the Conservatives, regardless of what you think. But I mean, it is a concern. It is a concern. It's particularly a concern because we know Reform are brilliant at tearing people apart and making people feel anxious and scared and angry. And, of course, we also know the algorithms of social media really reward things that make people feel angry, scared.
But what interests me, I was watching during the summer, and Farage held a press conference every week. And everyone else is just on holiday.
But
he's filling column inches.
Hold on.
He's filling. No, I don't mean that. I don't mean they're all on holiday. But I mean, he's almost got nothing to say. But the fact he's talking means that everyone picks up on what he's saying.
And what I'm going to say, in fairness to him, in the interests of balance, actually, he is a brilliantly effective operator.
Well, that's kind of what I mean.
We may not like him.
He just keeps talking.
But I have to tell you, I know that Kemi Badenoch, through the summer, was also doing things week in, week out, etc. And some people cut through and other people don't.
Yeah.
He is brilliant. We can't argue with this, and he is up there in the polls. People like us, we have grave reservations about him. We really do. I'm an old-style Conservative.
Yeah.
I like the big tent. I'm in the middle of the ground. I believe in the long run, sanity will
one nation
prevail.
Tory.
But I understand how people's concerns, this perception of immigration, that is perception, and you put the balance right, has really worrying people. So he's not up at the top of the polls for no reason. He is because people are concerned. And they should be concerned, I think, for much more than immigration. I think always it's the economy stupid. And whenever I go in the country, people are worried about the economy.
Of course.
There isn't the growth that we need to deliver what the government hopes to deliver. So the government is in trouble, the Conservatives are in trouble, and Nigel Farage has his party conference and can enjoy this 48 hours.
But you're right, Alison, they need to say what else they stand for.
They do, but I don't think... Well, we know some things. He doesn't think he particularly believes in the NHS. He's been all over the place on that. You know, we know that a lot of his funders are the kind of people from big business who want to ensure that their power of business... The idea that he's talking on behalf of the working men and women in this country is absolute nonsense. And I understand why he appears to be attractive, but he's not that man. He's not there for the working people of this country.
But do you think this Nadine situation could encourage other politicians to leave, or do you think he's...
She's not even an MP. I mean, that's the thing.
I don't think it does. There's also something about every party, Labour Party, Conservative Party, loyalty is very important. So that people who do defect, it really becomes quite difficult for the rest of the party. They don't find it attractive. I would be very surprised if there are any major defections.
It is a bit strange when people defect. I get when people go, I don't want to be part of the party anymore, citizen independent.
Yeah.
But when they join another party, you think,
It's not attractive. When you also, you think of your old constituency, how loyal they were to you over all those years. She was an MP for 18 years. She will say, I'm doing this more in sorrow than in anger. And nonetheless, and that's what she wants to do this weekend.
And the other thing is, it's very easy to be really noisy and say this is bad and this is awful, but it's what people want to see, I think, is constructive things to make this country better.
And they're hoping that we will form this government, the four of us.
Yes.
We will be the core.
Which position do you want?
I shall be Prime Minister.
OK, can I do foreign affairs?
No, I don't think so.
I like thinking
I think
that...
you're the one to do foreign
You-
affairs,
you could
because you
take-
travel a great
You
deal.
could take your pick. What would you be in the old?
Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
We could do it as a job share.
Never happened before,
Let's
Joe.
do that. Let's move on to the next story. A little bit of royal
Brandreth
news.
Hammond.
A little bit of
joint
royal
ticket.
news. Don't you love getting your hair done? Because it does make you feel like a new
love it.
person.
Yes.
Well, someone who has had their hair done is lovely Kate, the Princess of Wales. She's had her hair done. She's become a little bit blonder. She looks stunning. She's made all the front pages and she's debuting her new regally blonde look. What do you think of it? Is it going to be the new Jennifer Anderson? Are people going to be rushing out to get this new hairstyle now? I want a Kate.
I think she's gorgeous. Are they calling it?
She's always...
Are they calling the colour blonde?
Yes.
As in bronze
Blonde,
and
yes,
blonde.
bronze.
Oh, that's a good idea.
At first, to be honest, it's much fuller. At first, I thought, oh, is it a wig? For a split second, I thought that. It's much fuller.
Or extensions, maybe.
Ah, you know about that.
Well...
How do extensions work? Where do you attach them?
Well, you know what? Well, it attaches to your hair. Like, who really cares? Like, she just looks stunning,
she's
doesn't
lovely.
she?
She looks stunning anyway.
She looks beautiful, and I'm not surprised that she's making the front page.
And it is a good time of year to get a new look as well, isn't it? Sort of back to school, new hair.
We all love a little bit of an autumn makeover. Oh, parents who retire 10 years later. A new study has revealed parents are putting off retirement for 10 years to help the kids through university. This is from investment firm Rathbones. A third of parents are forced to postpone retirement, 27 extending work out to a decade to put their kids through university. Should they be doing this?
What about the grandparents putting off retirement? We've got 2 grandchildren going to university this weekend. It's not just the fees and that $9,000 a year and the loan, which goes on forever, but also there's the accommodation.
Yeah.
Living in halls and the food and the extras.
Yeah.
It can't be done without help from the bank of mum and dad and, in our experience, the help of grandpa and grandma in this process.
Yeah,
How old are your children now?
So my daughter is going in 2 weeks' time. She's going to university. So, I mean, it is a big concern. I think she's going to try and get a job when she's there.
Do you find it stressful as a parent when you know your child's going off, flying the nest?
Yeah.
Do you find it quite stressful?
It's just quite sad, really.
Yeah.
But my son's come back from university, so 1 in, 1 out is fine.
Yeah,
It's
that's
working.
fine.
Yeah, it's good.
And you may find he's there for a long time.
Yeah, well, because it's expensive to get out.
At the moment, a friend of our granddaughter's is called Charlotte, is around at our house, and she's earning some money during her gap year in order to save up a great deal of money. And so it's, you know, some of them are earning...
when do you close the bank of mum and dad? When does that
I don't know whether he
As
ever
the coffee lid comes down, that is when it closes. Not until. Face it.
But also, it's important to say you don't have to go to university. There's plenty of other options out there for young people now that are good and don't cost as much.
Yeah.
All right, thank you both.
Okay,
thank you so much for
guys.
visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.